Alright, so this past Christmas I went ahead and got me a good dollar bill here that granted me complete access into having to watch several movies that were out in theaters that I did not have the opportunity of going out to watching. So I give my huge thanks over to my aunt for having to bless me with such an amazing gift, for giving me the wonderful opportunity to watching these 4 great, excellent films that I got to see in theaters. So I thank you very much, and a Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year. So I went ahead and gotten to watch several films in the theaters: Aquaman, Bumblebee, Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse, and Mary Poppins Returns. And I just love the fact that I got the opportunity to go to the theaters to watch some really great movies, have a lot of fun, have some popcorn, soda, hot dog, nachos, whatnot that they have there. But it's always a great time to go to the movies, whether or not if the movie's going to be great or whether the movie's going to be terrible. It all depends on what type of movie that a certain audience member is interested in. So, hi, I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you very much for taking in the time of your day to watching another one of my videos. You guys are such a huge inspiration to me to having doing one of my personal hobbies, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. So let's go ahead and get started here, you guys, with first on the list is Aquaman. So Aquaman was the first movie that I got to watch in the theaters, which is one of the movies that I was highly anticipated into watching, because this is the movie that takes place immediately after Justice League, the massive, tremendous piece of garbage that I watched last year that really put me in a difficult position of whether or not if I favored the DCEU or not. And I was really hoping for Aquaman to be the exact opposite of what Justice League was. And I'm trying not to compare here, but I just feel that Aquaman is actually a lot better than Justice League. I remember last year when I reviewed for Justice League, I gave it a 27% percentage rating on the film. And for this one, I liked it a lot better, to giving it a, well, on Rotten Tomatoes, they actually gave it a 64%. But for me, I actually enjoyed it enough to actually liked it a little bit less, giving it a 59%. But it's a lot better than Justice League. Don't get me wrong. It's wonderful having to be introduced into this wonderful world that we've never been introduced to before in other films, other than animation. But other than that, in live action, having to see an underwater world. It's a little bit of like Avatar mixed in with, like the Chronicles of Narnia or something like that, so on and so forth, but actually in much more better terms. This movie is directed by James Wan, and if you guys aren't familiar who James Wan is, he's a director who pretty much has his career based on past films that are related to horror thriller, like Insidious or The Conjuring, so on and so forth. But I was really wondering if James Wan was really going to pull it off by having to do a live action film based off of a superhero. But then I saw that he directed also Furious 7, and I actually liked Furious 7. Furious 7 was an okay film, so I really did have a lot of high hopes for this director to take this franchise to a better and more satisfying direction rather than what the DCEU has been leading us towards. And of course we got Jason Momoa starring in this as Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry, who is coming back immediately after the events that happened in Justice League, and along with Amber Heard in this as well, in a much more different, brighter term of character. Patrick Wilson is in this. I wanted Patrick Wilson to be actually more of the Flash, rather than having to play the Ocean Master, who is the villain of the film. And Patrick Wilson is a character who is very much like a Loki of all this, but is already taken upon the throne of having to wreak war against the humans on the surface area. And that's what brings Arthur Curry, Aquaman, who is recruited by Amber Heard, Mira's character, to bring him back to Atlantis to retrieve his rightful place as king, to avoid having to prevent the war from happening on the surface area. And Arthur Curry's mother, played by Nicole Kidman, is, oh my God, I actually thought that she lost her figure. Like, I actually thought that she lost her taste of being such a beautiful actress. And not that saying that she's not, but wow, she's got a real body on her in this movie, man. I mean, she really does fit into this suit. And, I mean, she has a body of like a 27-year-old. I mean, it's just amazing. Wow. And, but not only that, she's a great, incredible actress. I had a first introduction of her when she was playing Dr. Chase Meridian. So she was in the DC movies before, playing Dr. Chase Meridian in the movie Batman Forever, which of course cases, I find that Batman Forever is not a terrible Batman film. It's actually one of my favorites. And then we got Willem Dafoe in this. Willem Dafoe, oh God. I really did not see Willem Dafoe in this playing a character that is very much in the back lines. I think that he's a great actor, and I think that he should have been given more of a better opportunity, a better opportune role into, you know, being more seen out rather than having to be put in the background. I don't know, I just find him to be much more necessary into more better roles. And of course, Dolph Lundgren. Oh my God, Dolph Lundgren. If you did not see him in Creed 2, oh my God, he did an amazing performance in that movie. And having to see him in this one, wow, such an amazing actor being put into this. I didn't even know he was in it until I watched the movie. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's Dolph Lundgren. So it was great having to see him on the big screen once more again in this incredible year of 2018. Like I said, 59% for this movie. I gave it, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 64%. What do you guys think? You can leave a comment in the section in the bottom and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this film or any other films that you would like to talk about in general. So the way I look at it is Aquaman was an okay film, not the best, not the worst, but it is better than Justice League. I'll give it that much. And I am very much looking forward to seeing what happens in future films, if there are to be future films of this movie being related to a further story. But other than that, that's my review for Aquaman. And now let's move on to the next film that I would love to review for you guys today, which is Bumblebee. So Bumblebee is a more of a, I guess you could say, a reboot slash prequel slash origin story of the character Bumblebee. And I actually loved Bumblebee. I loved all Transformers movies, except for the fifth one. The fifth one is complete garbage. I was okay with all of the 4 Transformer films. Especially the first 3. I really did enjoy the first 3. And what really got my attention into loving this character so much was a sequence within the third Transformers film, which is Dark of the Moon, where Bumblebee was in a sequence where he was about to get killed. And it was just this huge, dramatic, sad moment. And I remember watching it. And I remember watching it, I literally cried for that part because I enjoyed this character so much. I did not want for his character to end. And lo and behold, I mean, yes, of course he survived, but it was just a sad, traumatic moment having to watch that this adorable character was going to get killed off. But of course he didn't. So going back to the movie of Bumblebee, it's directed by Travis Knight, and we've got Haley Steinfeld into this, which I think that she has a bright future in her career of being an actress. She has been doing some incredible work with some really great, incredible films, and so I see her having a great success in her career of being a great actress. And of course, having to also start his career in the world of acting is John Cena. Sorry I had to do that. I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but I know that that's a phrase that John Cena has for when he approaches the ring. But John Cena, I did not like him in the movie Blockers, but having to see him in this, I thought that it was okay. It was an okay performance. I think that he has improved his acting skills and become more of a more better actor. And I hope to see that he does more films in the future and that he would continue to get better throughout each film. But other than that, when it comes to Bumblebee, I think that John Cena did an excellent job. His character, by the way, his name is Jack Burns. When I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute, Jack Burns? Isn't that the character from Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and all that? I'm like, Is it? Yeah, it is. I'm like, wow, you guys totally stole that name. But I found out that the spelling of the last name is completely different, so it just has the same pronunciation. But John Cena plays Jack Burns. Wow. So I guess when he gets older, he's gonna look like Robert De Niro and meet Ben Stiller. I don't know. Could there be a connection? No, I'm just kidding. That's not really legit. Then we got George Lindenberg Jr., who plays kind of like a love interest, aka the comedic performance of the film with Haley Steinfeld. He was okay. I mean, I just find him to be more like a kid who has a crush on the hottie, and kind of like what a Sam Witwicky, Shia LaBeouf character type of character is. John Ortiz, hate John Ortiz. I don't like him. First time I saw him was in Alien versus Predator Requiem, and my God, I hate this guy. This guy is so bad. I don't like him in any movie. Every time when I see him, I saw him in Peppermint recently, and no. I don't like this guy. Get rid of him. Throw him away. I don't like him. And I still didn't like him in this movie either. He's just so annoying to me. I don't like him at all. And of course, we get voice guests of Peter Cullen coming back as Optimus Prime, and then we get Dylan O'Brien, which I knew it was his voice from the very get-go. I didn't know that his voice was gonna be in this. I didn't know he was gonna be voicing Bumblebee. But having to hear the voice, because at the beginning of the movie we get the fully developed Bumblebee. You know, his fighting skills, his Cybertron origin, his actual voice. So, and having to hear it, I knew it was Dylan O'Brien because I remember I just recently watched The Maze Runner, all 3 films, and I recognized the voice. So when I watched the movie, I heard the voice, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Dylan O'Brien. So, and I thought it was just a perfect choice having to use his voice to play the character Bumblebee. And in this movie, you just absolutely fall in love with this character, and especially within the time period of the 1980s. I think it was in 1987 this took place, and I was born in 1987. Just to give that away, please don't remember that. But it was really fun. I mean, having to hear all the music playing, and you get to see how he develops his vocal skills by using the radio and just the music. The very importance of having to speak through your heart from the music, and that's what Haley Steinfeld introduces to Bumblebee, because she's like, in personal terms, she's like a mechanic who was raised by her dad, who recently passed away from having a heart attack, and she's also a professional swimmer. So it was kind of like a lot to put together to say that, okay, well, this movie does make sense, in which case it's saying that it's a very confusing film. But I just find it to be a very entertaining movie. Great time to go to the movies. I did enjoy this film a lot, to be better than the actual 5 first Transformers films. So I'm finding to see that this movie is taking a different toll, knowing that this franchise can succeed without Michael Bay. Even though Michael Bay is the executive producer of this film, I think that the director Travis Knight did an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he were willing to accept future Transformers films, or given more directors an opportunity to direct these type of movies, because I think that Michael Bay is done. Stop bringing Michael Bay into this. I think that he should have been done after the 3rd film, and given the 4th and 5th film to somebody else, because I thought he was going to quit, but then he keeps coming back and coming back. So thank God he had no connection to this film, because other than that, we've been seeing explosions here, explosions there, hot women there, hot women there, marketing stuff here, marketing stuff there, and it would have been one big massive mess. So thank God that Bumblebee came out to being such a great film. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 93%. For me, I actually loved it enough to giving it an 88%. So great job to everybody who made this great, incredible film, Bumblebee, and I'm looking forward to seeing if Transformers is going to be a huge success with future films. So that's my review for Bumblebee. Now let's go ahead and jump on to the next film that I took the opportunity to watch, Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse. Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse is a movie that I actually been hearing a lot of good stuff about, and I really wanted to take the opportunity to go out there and watch this film that I so to believe is going to be an incredible film. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is directed by Peter Ramsey and Rodney Rothman. And I believe that there's another director, and I apologize for not bringing him up here. And we got Shameik Moore, who plays the voice of Miles Morales. And I do not know anything about Miles Morales. I've never read the comic books regarded towards this character. Of course, we all know who Peter Parker's character is all about. But this is an introduction to a newly developed Spider-Man within the world of Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man. And of course, he gets bitten by a spider as normal in order to gain the powers of the Spider-Man. And he's introduced to another Spider-Man from a different universe, which is voiced by Jake Johnson, which I love Jake Johnson. I think Jake Johnson is so awesome. I love him in every movie that he's ever in, because I loved him in Tag, I loved him in New Girl, and he's just so funny. He's a great guy to watch on the big screen. And of course, we get returning Haley Steinfeld from Bumblebee, playing the voice of Gwen Stacy, who is Spider-Gwen. And there's this little love interest between her and Miles Morales within the movie, which I find it to be a little bit more interesting and more entertaining to watch throughout the film. And Liev Schreiber is in this, playing the voice of Kingpin. And I actually enjoyed the Kingpin a lot. I mean, even though he's like as huge and strong, he kills the original Spider-Man, and which brings in the other Spider-Man from another universe, which is Jake Johnson's character. And I don't know, it just brings this because what the Kingpin is doing is he's opening up a universe, because in some terms I believe that his wife and his child were killed off, so he's trying to bring them back from a different universe, which is what brings all these different Spider-Man characters from different Spider universes coming together within this one universe of Miles Morales' universe. And one of the characters that the black and white type of detective type of Spider-Man is none other than Nicolas Cage. Oh my God, Nicolas Cage! You cannot throw out one doubt of knowing that that's not Nicolas Cage's voice. That is Nicolas Cage, and he's just so funny when you hear his voice. He's such a great actor, even though he portrays a lot of bad films. I mean, a lot of bad films. But I find that he did a really excellent job in this movie. So fun, so much fun. Lily Tomlin, wow, Lily Tomlin is so great. I think that she plays Aunt May, and I think that she would have been a really excellent Aunt May in a real life version of Spider-Man, playing Aunt May. But I heard her voice and I'm like, that's Lily Tomlin. I mean, who are you kidding? Come on, we all love her voice. She's a great actress. I remember seeing her a lot back in the movies back in the 80s, and she's just a wonderful actress. And then of course Zoe Kravitz, who does Mary Jane Watson in this movie. Mary Jane Watson, wow. Played by Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, I could see that. She does have the voice for it. I saw her recently do some work on the Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald movie, and I thought that she did an amazing job. She's a very beautiful and talented actress, and not having to see any of those type of talents within the film, but other than her vocals, is an amazing gift that she has. So I believe that she is a really great, wonderful actress, and she was the perfect choice to play this character of Mary Jane Watson. So great time at the movies. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 97%, and for me, well, don't be angry with me here, because I did enjoy the film. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the film. I'm just not a big Spider-Man freak. I'm more of a Batman freak, as you all know. And Spider-Man is as interesting as the character and the story arc is, even though we are introduced to many different types of characters within many different types of universes. We can see that that this movie is not as so inspiring to me as how a Batman story arc would be. Like I said, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 97%. For me, I gave it a 78%. It's still a good percentage. It's a good rating for the film, but I just didn't find it to be very highly interesting as I anticipated it would be. But it's still an excellent film. A great time to go out to the movies. I love the animation of the movie. You know, it just gives you more of a feel of a pop-up comic book, and so that's a huge plus for me. I really did have a lot of fun with that. Great, it was a great time. And I know that they had an after credit sequence, an after credit scene popping up there, so I'm not going to spoil that for you. You guys can check that out when you guys, if you've not have gone and watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse yet. So go ahead and catch that when you can. But other than that, that's my review for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What do you guys think? You can guys leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this movie or any of the movies you want to talk about in general. So let's talk about the last film that I want to talk about with you guys today that I took the awesome opportunity of this Christmas to go out and watch in the theaters is Mary Poppins Returns. Okay, so the last movie that I went ahead and watched was Mary Poppins Returns, which is directed by Rob Marshall. And I don't really find Rob Marshall to be a really good director. I've seen some of his projects, and you know, he has some good ones, he has some bad ones. The last one that I watched was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Oh god, did I hate that movie. And so I was really doubting that this was going to be a good film. But having to know that it is a film by Disney based off of the properties of the original Mary Poppins film that really very much created the Disney product itself, I guess I went ahead and trusted it because I went ahead and watched the trailers. I followed the marketings for this film, and I find that there could be a possible chance that this movie could be great. So I took a chance. I went ahead and watched it. I love Emily Blunt playing Mary Poppins. She does an excellent performance being Mary Poppins, such almost an exact replica of Julie Andrews' performances as Mary Poppins back in the day. So huge credits to Emily Blunt for doing such an amazing job portraying the character of Mary Poppins, even though that she wasn't even trying to anticipate of being even though it wasn't her intention of playing the exact replica of Julie Andrews' Mary Poppins, she made it her own character. It's just who the character is, and so she developed that into making it her own type of person. So I find that to be very creative of her. So such a great job of her doing what she did within the film. And then we get Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is kind of like the Dick Van Dyke type of character from the original film, but a different character. Since Dick Van Dyke was more of the chimney sweeper, this one is more like the, more of the street light lighter, and he turns it off and all that stuff. So I thought that was it was an okay type of character. And speaking of Dick Van Dyke, he does make an appearance in this. He does have a special cameo within the film later on, and it's just so amazing having to see him making a cameo within this movie. He's such an incredible actor. I love him in everything that he does. And we all know that, yes, of course, he's getting older, but yet he still has the excellent persona into having to do the things that he does within this movie. So I give him huge credits for doing what he does in this movie. Bravo to him. And who can forget Meryl Streep? Meryl Streep, wow. Who does not love Meryl Streep? She is a wonderful, brilliant actress who has the mutual talent of doing what she does within the films. She is very much the queen of actors and actresses. So I don't know. She's just a wonderful actress, and the way that she portrays this character within the film, she plays Mary Poppins' cousin. So other than that, I just find her to be a not as an interesting character in the film, but a brilliant performance from her developing the character within the film. And then Ben Whishaw, who plays the grown-up version of Michael from the original Mary Poppins film, who has these 3 children that from his wife who recently passed away and is in a financial crisis of losing his house based off of a loan that he took out from the bank. And he's also joined with Emily Martimer, who plays the sister to him when they were little kids. And she also plays a little love interest to Lin-Manuel Miranda's character, you know, the streetlight lighter. where they have a little bit of a relationship within the film, like a little bit of a love interest. So, did I find that is all interesting? No, but I mean, it's okay to throw in there. I guess it's a Disney film. Angela Lansbury, who is the balloon carrier, she makes a little bit of a performance, a little cameo at the ending of the film, and I don't know if you guys don't know who she is. I mean, she's from Murder, She Wrote. She's from Bedknobs and Broomsticks. She's the original voice of the teapot from Beauty and the Beast. And you don't even get to see her cameo within the film until you hear her voice for the first time singing in the film. And you're like, I know who that is. That's Angela Lansbury. Come on, you guys. Who are you kidding? And I love that she made it a cameo within this film. She's just such an incredible actress. I'm really happy to see that she became a huge part of this film. So wonderful, so excellent. And Colin Firth is in this too. I mean, come on, this movie takes place in England. Of course, Colin Firth is going to be in this. He's a great English actor, and people just admire and enjoy who he is and what he does within the film. So big credits to all these actors and actresses having to do such a great job within this film. It's an okay film. It's not one of the greatest, but it's an okay film. It doesn't beat the original. It is a sequel to the original. It's not a remake. It's not a reboot or anything like that. And I don't really see it to being a movie that will continue on with a future film. I just see it to be more of a period timing of a movie such as this. So Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 78%, and for me, I was okay with the film, like I said, to giving it a 70%. I'm on the same lines with everyone here, giving it around that same percentage line. So a lot of fun with Mary Poppins Returns. I love the musical numbers within the film. It's not as memorable as the original songs from the original film, but it's really great musical numbers. And I could tell that they took a lot of time, a lot of work into developing those dancing performances and music notes. So it's a great movie. It's okay. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, you can always leave a question in the bottom to see what we can do to have an awesome conversation regarding towards this movie or any of the movies in general. So, I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to watching my videos. You guys are such a huge inspiration to me for having to do this wonderful personal hobby of mine that I love to do so much, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And as always, stay awesome. Thanks guys so much. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.